skills. Look, boy, you in the danger room. Yeah, you in the danger room. Come on now. It's like a dream. Everything moving fast, but you moving slow. Change the tempo, watch, we on time. Hey, now you know. Listen to the rhythm we giving them, we bringing it with passion. Smashing, you should just move to my groove. Case in point, watch how I improve. Then the automator is ready, you know we're hater, a music motivator, and I'ma show you later. But right now we getting down, you ground, cause I
guys, in today's build video I'm gonna share with you my support tank build, which focuses more on hazard protection to counter the status effect build used by players, or mostly players in Dark Zone. So this also has a high amount of armor regen to ensure the survivability, and also the tardigrade as support to your teammates so that you can tank enemies or players in Dark Zone, and also provide them with the tardigrade's ability to give them bonus armor whenever they deplete their armor. So I'm using the Demolitionist specialization to get the extra 20% burn resistance coming from the passive perk of the Demolitionist, and also the mod for the critical hit chance laser pointer coming from the Demolitionist specialization, and also to give my teammates that plus 5% damage to target out of cover. So it's also a passive skill which works for your teammates. Okay, so for the weapon I'm just using the FAMAS 2010. So this one is fitted with rugged reflex, meaning sight for critical hit chance, small laser pointer coming from the Demolition specialization for that 7% crit chance. So the usual laser pointer is 5%, but for the Demolition specialization it's 7%. The muzzle break 5.56 for another 5% crit chance, and sturdy extended 5.56 max for that plus 20 rounds. So the FAMAS is fitted with a talent in sync, so that it provides me an extra damage whenever I pop my shield and then shoot my enemies. And also it has the attribute of damage to target out of cover, since most of your enemies in Dark Zone are pushing you, so you need this attribute to have that 10% multiplicative bonus damage. Since you do not have enough damage, try to aim for their heads. Okay, that's assault rifle damage and health damage. For the secondary, I'm running the Lady Death. So this is the best SMG right now in Division 2. So I'm using this because it has an amplified damage talent. Whenever it has stacks when you move, it allows you to maintain or keep on gaining stats, wherein whenever you shoot you get an amplified damage. So it has SMG damage, crit chance, and damage to armor, which is also multiplicative bonus damage. For the pistol, I'm just using first wave PF45 with strain talent, which gives me that plus 10% critical hit damage and stacks up to 5 times, giving a total of 50% critical hit damage. So it stacks up for every 0.5 seconds I'm firing this gun. It has extended pistol mag for that plus 11 rounds, compact coupled small laser for that 10% critical hit chance. It has pistol damage, and again an attribute of 10% damage to target out of cover. So let's go with the gear sets. I'm using the Bellstone mask for that 1% armor regen bonus. It has armor, hazard protection, armor regen, and a mod for bleed resistance. So I place bleed resistance since mostly status effect guys or players are using stinger and the sticky burn sticky, okay, or the fire sticky, and I'm trying to counter bleed and burn on this agent or this build. Okay, so I'm using the golden backpack for that adrenaline rush talent. It has armor, armor regen, hazard protection, and another mod for bleed resistance. So why golden? I'm trying to get that plus 1% armor regen. So first piece gives you plus 10% status effects, which also helps because I'm using a stinger hive, and the most important one is to get the second bonus, which is plus 1 armor regen, plus 1% armor regen. For the chest piece, I'm using the Tardigrade armor system, which has armor, explosive resistance, armor regen, and also a burn resistance mod. So that with the burn resistance mod, I get 100% burn resistance. So having 100% burn resistance allows you to deflect those sticky burn, so they don't stick at your agent and they do not burn you. Any burn status do not affect you. You're always immune to them because it's 100%. So the talent gives you the ability to gain bonus armor whenever your armor is depleted. So it's the same with your allies. Okay, so it's like giving them the unbreakable talent, but with only bonus armor, so they can heal up or at least finish up their opponents. So I'm also equipped with the Yell gloves for that plus 10% hazard protection bonus, and it has armor, hazard protection, and armor regen. For the holster, I'm using the Golan holster so that I get the plus 1% armor regen from the 2 pieces of Golan. Okay, so it has armor, hazard protection, and armor regen. For the last piece, the knee pads, I'm using the Emperor's Guard, since Emperor's Guard gives you that plus 1% armor regen. So the total armor regen now is 3% combined with your total armor and all the armor regen on this build. So it gives me a lot of armor regen for survivability. It also has hazard protection and armor for that extra survivability. Okay, so for the skills, I'm using Stinger Hive. So Stinger Hive is mostly used wherever I'm trying to do crowd control. So when a group pushes the team, I'm always on front. I'm always gonna tank them. Just remember to strafe whenever they're firing at you. Try to survive as long as you can to give your teammates, the ones on the back, the chance to shoot the opponents and take them one by one. Okay, so the strategy is to tank everyone, kite them, and then let your teammates do the job of finishing them off. So Stinger Hive allows you to damage them at the same time, remove their ability to aim for the duration of the time that they're bleeding. And also when you're running, since when you're in Manhunt, you cannot literally ensure that everybody survives, but you can survive yourself. If you have Stinger Hive and then you're running, just drop it, run. Whoever steps on that Stinger Hive gets slowed, so that you can adjust the distance between you and your opponents. So I'm also equipped with Crusader Shield. So this Crusader Shield allows me to proc that in-sync, and also allows me to have that extra survivability whenever I am shooting, since it has 4M HP. You can at least have the shield take all that 4M damage before I get damaged myself. Okay, so let's go with the stats. So for the weapon stats, it's quite low since it's full blue. It has 61k weapon damage, 24k PvP weapon damage, 27% crit chance, 45% crit hit damage, 75% headshot damage for the FAMAS 2010. For the Lady Death, it has 57k weapon damage, 19k PvP weapon damage, 41% crit chance, 50% crit damage, and 70% headshot damage. For the pistol, or the first wave PF45, it has 115k weapon damage, 38k PvP weapon damage, 20% crit chance, 45% crit hit damage, and 120% headshot damage. Since this is a pistol, it has a high innate headshot damage modifier in it. So for the grenade launcher, or the specialization weapon, I have 2M weapon damage, 828k PvP weapon damage, 10% crit chance, 45% crit damage, 95% headshot damage. So you don't usually use this grenade launcher on Dark Zone, but in Conflict, whenever you have the special ammo drop and you acquired one, you can use this. It's easier for you to kill agents coming at you in Conflict if you have special weapon or specialization ammo with you. So for the defensive stats, I have 1.8 armor, 1.8M armor, 80% or 80k armor regen, 341k max health, 1707 health regeneration, and 70% hazard protection, which also applies to the base resistance for every status that I encounter. So since I have mods for bleed resistance, the total of those two bleed resistance mod, so 10% each, gives me a total of 90% bleed resistance. And since I'm using one burn resistance mod plus 20% coming from the Demolitionist specialization, I have 100% burn resistance all in all. So I can switch this mods depending on what status I want to counter, but it's easier for me to have complete resistance to any status with just 2 or 3 mods equipped on my agent. So sometimes I go for ensnare resistance mod whenever someone uses foam and they're not using a stinger hive, so I switch my bleed resistance to ensnare resistance. And sometimes I go with disrupt resistance whenever someone is trying to jam skills or my skills and I'm having a hard time trying to use my skills. I use disrupt resistance, but mostly I have my burn resistance intact, and I just changed the two first mods from the backpack and the mask. Okay, so this is my defensive tank build that I use in Dark Zone. Hope this build helps you guys in playing Division 2.